Marshall on the narrow side. Oh, he's done it. Clever stuff. Bonus point back inside. It is a bonus point for Ulster.
Wonderful piece of defence by Glasgow. Marshall on the narrow side. Cheeky little rascal has sneaked in. And he's got it away. Little nudge on the dive and the try, surely.
27. A hint there perhaps of a forward pass, but it's been hacked on. And that's Marshall. He's got his foot in it again. Marshall, if he can get there and ground it, it's a try.
Hi Paul, so thanks for taking time to answer a few questions today. At what age did you start taking an interest in playing rugby?
Okay, thanks Joel. No, I started playing rugby when I was about 9 years old. I joined a mini rugby club, and then I just sort of joined in with a few friends that were doing it one day. I didn't even have boots or anything. We were picking my older sister up from her hockey, and I joined in, got mucky, had a bit of fun, and then the next week I got a pair of rugby boots and started from then. So really from about the age of 9 was my first interest in it.
Can you tell me a little bit about your school's rugby success?
Yeah, so I went to one of the sort of bigger rugby schools, Methody, and got really involved in rugby from the first year right the way through to my final year. Unfortunately, we never won a schools cup, which was a bit disappointing. So we lost in a final, lost in a semi-final, and then lost in one of the earlier rounds. So 3 years involved and no schools cup medals, unfortunately.
At what age did you realise you had the potential to become a professional rugby player?
I think when I probably turned about 16, I realised that it was something that I would dream of doing. I sort of thought I'd love to play for Ulster one day. But I suppose, if I'm honest, I wasn't by any means one of the most talented in our year group at school. So I kind of felt like I had to work really hard to try and prove myself. And even just small things like fitness drills and things which didn't really require you to be skillful. It just required you to be really determined and to work hard. And so it was really from about the age of 16 I started to dream, but I probably didn't really tell anyone in case they thought I was crazy. So when I left school, I didn't quite get into the Ulster Academy, which I'd wanted to do. And then within the next few months, I was playing for Ballynahinch club side. And within a few months then of that, I got brought into the Ulster Academy on trial, and then I got brought in full time really from around Christmas time onwards, my first year out of school.
Can you tell us a bit about the rugby academy?
Yeah, so in the academy, it's very different now to it was then. Back then it was based up in Jordanstown at Ulster University, and it was really good actually for me. I was studying sports science at university there, and I was able to get training tied in with my lectures and things, whereas now it's all based at Ravenhill at the Kingspan Stadium, and it's probably slightly different now for the players in terms of trying to balance university and their training lives.
On your senior Ulster debut, what was going through your mind when you were running out onto the pitch?
Yeah, it was funny. I think I obviously had a few nerves, and which nerves are a good thing, you know, on the big occasion. But I think it was just so exciting. That was the biggest thing. I was just absolutely buzzing inside. You know, I was getting to fulfill a dream of mine, which I'd had as a child, as a young boy, was to play for Ulster, and getting to do that for the first time was so special. I remember it was the very first time was in a friendly game, and I was getting to run out and play with the likes of David Humphreys was still playing. So I was playing scrum half, he was playing out half, and for me he was one of the heroes I'd watched on TV, and to be able to be on a pitch with someone like that and playing alongside them was just a dream come true.
When I was younger, my granny and granda were season ticket holders for Ulster, and the odd time I'd be down with my granda, the one thing I remember was the roar of the fans. How important was it for you to hear the fans get behind the team? Did it help lift your game?
Oh, massively so. I think the fans are so important, and obviously we're seeing even at the minute with the coronavirus side of things that the games are being played now without any fans, and it's a very different feel. Even when you're watching it, I'm sure it's a different feel for the players that are playing in the football matches. But I know for me, playing at the Kingspan and whenever the crowd were there, and especially when we were going well and the crowd really got in behind us, it gave you an extra lift. And you know, at times you're so focused on the game you didn't notice everything, but whenever the game broke up or there was a break in play and you got to hear the crowd, it certainly was something that was very uplifting, and it was a real privilege to get to play in front of crowds.
How does it feel to be the 5th ever player to make 200 caps for Ulster?
Yeah, to get the 200 was something I was obviously so proud of achieving. When you start off, you dream of getting your first game, and then you start thinking, will I get 10, 20, 30? and it sort of just continues. You dream then of getting 100. Once you get to 100, you set yourself another target of 150, and to get to 200 was obviously something I'm very proud of, and only 6 players have done it so far, so I'm in a nice wee group there, and hopefully too many more won't join us.
What is your best try you've ever scored?
I think it was probably against Leicester in the Heineken Cup. We beat Leicester 41-7 at home, and it was a bonus point try as well, which at the time we sort of were pushing to try and get qualification out of our European group, so to get the bonus point was something which was really special, and I'd probably been a wee bit disappointed I wasn't starting that week. We'd played Edinburgh the week before, and I thought I'd played quite well there, and I was a bit disappointed that I wasn't starting, so I probably had a wee bit of extra fire in my belly that week, that it then meant whenever I got onto the pitch and got to score the try, it was just really amazing. And when you talk about the crowd, you know, our fans were singing sort of some of the English songs back at Leicester, so it was kind of quite nice to hear all that.
You played 12 years with Ulster. What was your best part of playing for Ulster?
Yeah, I think when you finish and you look back, you realise it's the friendships that you've made with coaching staff, with other players, and just the people you get to meet along the way. And I think everything in life is geared towards people. You know, when you're at school, you have your friends. When you grow up and you have a family, it's, you know, you're constantly surrounded by people. And I think it was just the relationships that were formed with friends, on my teammates and coaches, that still now continue on to this day, and they're something which will hopefully go on with me for the next whatever number of years.
You earned 3 international caps playing for Ireland. That must have been an unbelievable experience for you. What was it like to be called up for the first time to the Ireland Rugby squad?
Yeah, that was really special. I remember I got my first cap in March 2013, but I'd gone on the summer tour to New Zealand before that in 2012, and getting to go to New Zealand, and Ireland had 3 games against the All Blacks. Unfortunately, I wasn't involved in any of them, but getting to train with the likes of the Brian O'Driscolls and Ronan O'Gara's and these players that I'd sort of seen on TV growing up, to then be alongside them was something which was really amazing to be a part of. I think the very first game was away to Italy then in March 2013, and I think the sort of feelings around that were again just real excitement and a real buzz, and just the feeling that you grow up, you want to play for Ulster, you want to play for Ireland. To be able to get that experience was something which was really amazing, and I'm grateful for. I suppose looking back, I kind of wish I'd had more experiences. I wish I'd had 50 caps, but look, I'm obviously delighted that I got to play in a green shirt, and it's something which I'll treasure.
Tell me your best moment in any rugby shirt and why.
Yeah, I think probably the best moment was in around the 2012 period, whenever we made the Heineken Cup final. I think the semi-final was a really special day down at the Aviva Stadium in Dublin, and there was maybe close to 50,000 around crowd-wise, and about 45,000 from Ulster against Edinburgh. So it was amazing just seeing all the red and white flags, red and white scarves, and even just driving from the hotel to the stadium and seeing everybody out on the streets was something really special. And then following that up with the final then against Leinster, which unfortunately we lost, but just being part of that big occasion in 2012 and the final at Twickenham, and just seeing how it got so many people behind us, and it really lifted the whole province as a whole. I think that's something which was probably my favourite period of a couple of games, and being involved in those really exciting days.
You finished a brilliant career for Ulster. How much do you miss it?
Yeah, I do miss it. I think especially when you're down at the big games, the big European nights, the big provincial battles against the Leinsters and the Munsters, and you're down and you see the pitch all perfectly marked out before kick-off. You do get that wee feeling I sometimes get in my tummy, where I'm thinking I'd love to be involved one more time. But look, as I say, I support the team. You know, I've still got friends that are playing. I miss not seeing those guys day in, day out, but it's something that is still really special for me to see those guys, and I want Ulster to do well, to continue to do well. But I think just, you know, you miss the camaraderie, you miss seeing the guys day in, day out, and obviously I'm still in contact with a few of them, but it's just that togetherness that you have, the bond of a team, which is something that's very special.
And finally, are you still involved in rugby in any way?
Yeah, I'm a PE teacher in Antrim Grammar School, so I'm still involved in rugby coaching there. and we're trying to build the rugby up there to make it a bit stronger. So that's something which is a new challenge for me, but it keeps me heavily involved. I'm not doing any club coaching or anything at the minute, and I am still involved a little bit with some of the media around games. So I would do a little work for the radio and a little bit of work for the Premier Sports TV as well at times at some of the Ulster games. So it's a really nice way to stay connected in rugby, to get to still see some of the players. I still get to see what's going on behind the scenes, and it's certainly something which I really enjoy doing. Will I coach a bit more in the future? I'm not entirely sure just yet. I still sort of guess I'm finding my feet a little bit. I'm enjoying teaching at the minute, and that certainly keeps me involved in rugby, which is great. And whether that develops into something else, we'll have to just wait and see.
Thanks very much for taking time to talk.
No, nice to meet you, Joel. Thank you.